So I've been spending a lot of time deep in the command line lately, and I've been thinking about the tools that are just indispensable, the ones that form the very core of any good cybersecurity toolkit. And when you think about that, you almost immediately land on Kali Linux. It's this powerhouse of a distribution, packed with hundreds of tools, which can honestly be a little overwhelming when you're just starting out, or even if you're trying to refine your workflow. So I figured, let's cut through the noise. Let's do a clean, fast-paced countdown of what I think are the top 10 essential Kali Linux tools that every single person interested in this field should know about. This isn't just going to be a list though. That's not how we do things. For each tool, I'm going to break down what it is, why it's so powerful, and most importantly, I'll give you a simple, clean command prompt to get you started immediately. Think of it as a launchpad. The goal here is to give you a solid foundation, a set of tools you can start experimenting with today, to really understand how they work and what they're capable of. We're moving fast, but the focus is on pure utility and getting you hands-on as quickly as possible. We're going to cover everything from network scanning and vulnerability analysis to password cracking and web app testing. It's a comprehensive look at the best of the best. So whether you're a seasoned pro looking for a refresher or a curious newcomer ready to dive into the world of ethical hacking and cybersecurity, this is the video for you. Let's get right into it. This is the top 10 Kali Linux tools you absolutely need to know. Alright, kicking off our list at number 10 is the only NNMAP. It stands for Network Mapper. And honestly, if you're doing anything related to networks, this is your starting point. It's like the initial recon drone you send out before the main mission. Nmap is incredibly powerful for network discovery and security auditing. You can use it to find out what hosts are available on a network, what services those hosts are offering, what operating systems they're running, what type of packet filters or firewalls are in use, and dozens of other characteristics. It's the foundational first step. The beauty of Nmap is its versatility. You can go for a simple, quick ping scan, or you can get incredibly granular with a version detection scan that tries to determine the exact software versions running on open ports. It's a tool that grows with you. The more you learn about networking, the more powerful Nmap becomes in your hands. To get started, you can literally just open your terminal and type Nmap, A followed by your target IP. The A flag enables OS detection, version detection, script scanning, and tracer route. It's a great, aggressive first scan to get a ton of info. Coming in at number 9, we have the Metasploit framework. So if Nmap is the recon drone, Metasploit is the entire Special Forces team. This thing is a beast. It's a massive open-source penetration testing framework that makes hacking simplified. It's essentially a collection of exploits, payloads, and tools that you can use to test the security of systems. It's used by pen testers and security professionals everywhere to find vulnerabilities, test defenses, and execute attacks in a controlled environment. It's a huge project, constantly being updated with new exploits for newly discovered vulnerabilities. What makes Metasploit so essential is how it streamlines the entire exploitation process. It takes what would be incredibly complex, multi-step attacks and packages them into easy-to-use modules. You find a vulnerability, you search Metasploit for a matching exploit, you configure it with your target's information, and you launch it. It's an incredible learning tool for understanding how vulnerabilities actually work. Getting it running is super simple. You just pop open a terminal and type MSF console to launch the interactive console. From there, a whole world of possibilities opens up. At number 8, we're shifting gears a bit to something more passive but no less powerful. Wireshark. This is the ultimate network protocol analyzer. Think of it as a microscope for your network traffic. It lets you capture and interactively browse the data traveling back and forth on a computer network. You can see everything, from high-level protocol information down to the individual bits and bytes of each packet. If something is happening on your network, Wireshark can see it, capture it, and let you dissect it piece by piece. For a security professional, this is invaluable. You can use it to troubleshoot network problems, analyze malware traffic to see what it's doing, or identify suspicious activity like unauthorized connections or data exfiltration. It's also an incredible educational tool for understanding how protocols like TCP, IP, DNS, and HTTP actually function under the hood. It has a graphical interface, which makes it a bit more approachable than some other tools on this list. To launch it, you just type Wireshark in your terminal, select a network interface to listen on, and watch the packets roll in. Number 7. Aircrack Eng. Sliding into the number 7 spot is Aircrack Eng. Now, we're getting into the wireless side of things. AirCrackEng is not just one tool, but a whole suite of tools designed for Wi-Fi network security auditing. Its main function is to crack WEP and WPA/WPA2 PSK keys, which means it tests the strength of your wireless network's password. It works by capturing network packets and then running various attacks against them to recover the password. It's the go-to tool for anyone looking to test the security of their Wi-Fi. The suite contains tools for every step of the process. There's for capturing packet data, for injecting frames to generate traffic, and finally, itself for the actual cracking process. It's a classic example of a tool that demonstrates a real-world vulnerability that many people still have. After you've captured the necessary handshake data into a file, you can start the cracking process with a simple command like. It's a must-have for any wireless security assessment. Number 6, John the Ripper. At number 6, we have a tool with a legendary name, John the Ripper. This is a classic, and for good reason. It's one of the most popular and powerful password cracking tools available. Its primary purpose is to detect weak passwords. When systems store passwords, they don't store them in plain text. They store them as a hash. John takes these hashes and uses various methods, like a dictionary attack or a brute force attack, to figure out what the original password was. It's an essential tool for post-exploitation or for auditing password strength. What's great about John is its flexibility. It can automatically detect the type of hash it's been given and will try different cracking modes to be as efficient as possible. You can give it a list of password hashes from a compromised system, point it to a good word list, which is basically a giant text file of potential passwords, and let it run. It supports a huge number of hash types, from standard Linux passwords to web application hashes and beyond. A typical command to get started would look like. Number 5, Hydra. Cracking our top 5 is Hydra. While John the Ripper is fantastic for offline password cracking against hashes, Hydra is the king of online brute force attacks. What that means is Hydra can take a list of potential usernames and passwords and try to log into a live running service with them, one by one, very, very quickly. It supports a huge number of protocols, including SSH, FTP, Telnet, HTTP, SMB, and many more. If there's a login form or a service that requires authentication, Hydra can probably try to break into it. This makes it an incredibly effective tool for testing the security of network services. Did someone on your network set up a new server with a weak default password? Hydra will find it. It's highly customizable, allowing you to specify a single username and a list of passwords, or a list of usernames and a single password, or lists for both. It's a noisy tool, meaning it generates a lot of failed login attempts, but it's brutally effective. A basic command to attack an SSH server might be. Number 4, we've got Burp Suite. This is honestly the Swiss Army knife for web application security testing. It's not just a single tool, but, an integrated platform of tools that all work together seamlessly to support the entire testing process, from the initial mapping and analysis of an application's attack surface, right through to finding and exploiting security vulnerabilities. Its most famous feature is definitely the proxy, which basically sits between your web browser and the internet. That lets you intercept, inspect, and modify all the traffic passing in both directions. This interception capability is what makes Burp Suite so incredibly powerful. You can actually pause a request before it goes to the server, change a parameter to test for things like SQL injection, then forward it and inspect the server's response. There are other modules too, like a scanner for automatically finding vulnerabilities, an intruder for customized attacks, and a repeater for manually resending and tweaking requests. The free community edition is absolutely packed with features, and honestly, it's a must-learn for anyone interested in web security. And to get the GUI started, you just type Burp Suite. Number 3, Nikto. Breaking into the top 3, we have Nikto. While Burp Suite is this huge, all-encompassing platform for manual web testing, Nikto is a much more focused tool. It's a web server scanner that performs comprehensive tests against web servers for multiple items. It looks for over 6,700 potentially dangerous files and programs, checks for outdated versions of over 1,250 servers, and version-specific problems on over 270 servers. It's a fast, simple, and effective way to get a quick security audit of a web server. Think of Nikto as a vulnerability checklist scanner. You point it at a target, and it runs through its list of tests, reporting back anything interesting it finds. This includes things like misconfigurations, default files and scripts, insecure permissions, and other common vulnerabilities. It's not the quietest tool. Its requests are pretty obvious in a server's log files. But for a quick and dirty assessment to find the low-hanging fruit, it's hard to beat. It's incredibly easy to use. Just open your terminal and run Nikto, followed by your target URL or IP. Number 2, SQL Map. Our runner-up at a very close number 2 is SQL Map. This tool is an absolute masterpiece of automation. Its purpose is singular and focused, to detect and exploit SQL injection vulnerabilities. SQL injection is one of the most common and most devastating web application vulnerabilities, allowing an attacker to interfere with the queries that an application makes to its database. SQL Map automates the entire process of finding a vulnerable parameter, identifying the database type, and then exploiting it to do things like dump database contents, access the underlying file system, and even execute commands on the operating system. The power of SQL Map is in its efficiency. What would take a human tester hours of manual, tedious work, SQL Map can often do in minutes. It has a powerful detection engine and a huge number of features for exploitation. If you suspect a URL parameter is vulnerable to SQL injection, you can just hand the URL over to SQL Map and let it go to work. It's an essential tool for any web app pen tester. A great first command to see if it can find any databases is skill map U with your vulnerable URL and parameter, and then add DBS. Number 1, Netcat. And here we are. The number 1, most essential, most versatile tool in the Kali Linux arsenal, in my opinion, is Netcat. It might seem like a simple choice, but its power lies in its simplicity. Netcat is often called the Swiss Army knife for TCP/IP. It's a command line utility that can read and write data across network connections using either TCP or UDP. That sounds basic, but the applications are nearly endless. You can use it to open connections, listen for incoming connections, transfer files, or even create a simple backdoor shell. It's the ultimate networking multi-tool. Need to quickly test if a port is open on a remote machine? Netcat. Need to transfer a file from one machine to another without setting up FTP or SMB? Netcat. Need to grab the banner of a web server? Netcat. Need to set up a quick temporary backdoor on a compromised machine to get a remote shell? You guessed it, Netcat. It's a fundamental tool that teaches you the basics of network communication. To set up a simple listener on a port, you just type NC LVMP followed by your port number. Its sheer versatility is why it's my number 1. And that's a wrap. 10 of the most powerful, most useful, and most essential tools baked right into Kali Linux. From the broad network scanning of Nmap all the way down to the fundamental raw power of Netcat. We've covered a lot of ground pretty quickly, but the key takeaway here is that these are just starting points. Each one of these tools is incredibly deep, with hundreds of options and flags that you can explore to really tailor them to your needs. The prompts I gave you are just the first step on a much longer and more rewarding journey. Now, it's super important to say this. These are powerful tools, and with great power comes great responsibility. Use them ethically. The best way to learn is by setting up your own lab environment. Use virtual machines, create your own vulnerable targets, and practice in a space that you own and control. The goal is to learn how to build and defend systems, not to cause harm. Exploring these tools responsibly is the mark of a true security professional. So get hands-on, start experimenting, and see what you can discover. If you found this breakdown useful and want to dive deeper into the world of cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and all things tech, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more content like this planned, from deep dives into individual tools to full walkthroughs of capture the flag challenges. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.